咁我睇到嘅內地同埋之前喺香港了解到嘅內地咧係有差別嘅。
After the return of sovereignty from the UK to Beijing, exchanges between Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland become increasingly frequent. But fewer and fewer young Hong Kong people think they're Chinese, and biases against the mainland are deepening. According to a research on Hong Kong youths conducted by the New People's Party in 2018, 95% of the interviewees have visited the Chinese mainland. 85% of them can read simplified Chinese characters. Nearly 70% of them used or owned a WeChat account, but nearly 30% of them chose impossible when asked if the identity of Hong Kong people and that of the Chinese people can be compatible. Since June, the demonstrations in Hong Kong have spiraled out of control, with many young people called the Return Generation resorting to violence and even asking for Hong Kong independence. What happened to the identity recognition of Hong Kong youth? The colonial education under the British Hong Kong government and the colonial values prevailing over the past century have shaped the political and cultural identification of the Hong Kong people in a dangerous way. From January the 26th, 1841 to June the 30th, 1997, Hong Kong was colonized for 156 years before its return to China. The British Hong Kong government established curriculums according to British standards, with little mention about China and its people in local textbooks. Problems like relations between Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland were shunned. With regard to language, English was seen as a symbol for well-educated elites, while Cantonese became the dominant language in Hong Kong. Hong Kong millennials share values and lifestyles marked by a sense of native identity and superiority.
香港回归祖国。
Since Hong Kong's return to China in 1997, although Chinese history courses have been introduced to local schools to promote national education, some Hong Kong people still judge the political situation and some isolated incidents in the socialist Chinese mainland with their core values, which are formed by capitalism that has prevailed in the city for over a century. As for the majority of Hong Kong youths born after Hong Kong's return to China in 1997, their worldviews and values are deeply affected by the previous generation. As China became increasingly stronger on the world stage in recent years, the development speed and skill of many cities in the mainland have surpassed that of Hong Kong, and the share of Hong Kong's GDP in the mainland has gradually dropped off. The roles of Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland have switched, but the mentality of Hong Kong people has not changed. Hong Kong, an international financial center, boasts a highly advanced financial industry and professional service industry that are the backbone of its economy. Although these industries can generate high added value, they can only create a limited number of local jobs. Because of decreasing throughput of Hong Kong as a port city, a weak scientific and technological industry, and deindustrialization over recent years, local labor is mainly engaged in consumer services like the tourism industry. However, low and middle-income jobs account for the majority of those provided by these industries, which causes a slow growth in salaries. Meanwhile, Hong Kong's higher education system has been blindly expanding under the guidance of industrialization policies. The average educational background of Hong Kong youths, therefore, has risen sharply, and their expectations for employment have also been elevated. Local youths expect to find high-end jobs, while the current employment circumstances frustrate them. Additionally, due to the instigation of some Hong Kong politicians and unethical acts of some educational professionals, some Hong Kong youths vented their emotions through political activities.
我覺得香港嘅青年咧，佢哋冇真正咁去了解內地，好多時候都係人云亦云啦。佢哋可能冇親身體驗過內地嘅生活，佢哋冇客觀去分析啦，可能淨係單憑一兩件事就確立咗對內地嘅印象，咁就有少少以偏概全。
Shenzhen, a neighboring city of Hong Kong, has recently become a strong force in global scientific and technological innovation. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for personal growth have cropped up in the city. With the introduction of the Outline Development Plan for the Guangdong, Hong Kong and Macau Greater Bay Area, the vast job market in the Chinese mainland has opened for all Hong Kong youths. Who can solve the dilemma of Hong Kong youths?